Panthers Nation, we're back today with another video. Keep pounding. So today we're talking about the defense of 2019 and why it failed. So, first you need to understand where these players are on the field, if you don't already know, and what their responsibilities were supposed to be. So I have prepared a whiteboard, displaying where everybody's supposed to be. I know it's backwards, but this camera is whack, so just go with it. Um, with the exception of KK, who was not there, we had Vernon Butler in. So you're looking at, I'm drawing this stuff up on the board here as I go along. We had to pick McCoy up earlier on in the season, but everybody else virtually remained the same. Bruce Irvin took over. He was the first round pick. You had Luke in the middle to clean things up. But the problem was we switched to a 3-4. That means you essentially had McCoy, Mario, and Poe rushing. You had Vernon Butler sitting back there with the linebackers. And I'm not sure whose responsibility it was to be able to stop the run plays up the middle. Now, here's what typically goes down here. And I'm kind of pointing it out here as I'm drawing it up. But essentially, a basic draw would look like this. You got your ISO play or a basic draw to the left or to the right. This is where Poe would normally step up, or one of the linebackers would step in to fill the void. The problem is you've got five offensive linemen, and nobody could get past the line. Nobody. Not Mario, not McCoy, nobody. For a good chunk of that time. Now, I give McCoy and I give Mario their due. When they got through, they did. But it was mostly McCoy. And when these wide receivers went out on the routes, Dante and Bradbury were out on an island. Because you had Reed having to come into this area right here to kind of fill the void. But the problem is we had so many missed tackles in that area. And in areas right there and right there, mainly Shaq's area, to where Luke had to try to clean it up. He was missing tackles as well. And, we had trouble. So naturally, the running back decides to go outside with his runs. Therefore, you've got sweep plays to the left and to the right. Now here's where it gets tricky. Trey has to come either this side or to the other side, going way across the field. Look how far he has to go. Way across the field. And it depends on where he lines up, which side of the field and where, depending on the play. But sometimes he'll be over there where I have him lined up on the board, and he'll get there way late. So you got Dante Action Jackson over there on an island. He gets beat a good chunk of the time, and it goes for a touchdown. Now, Reed, once he sees this, has to choose. He either has to follow and help over the top and get there late, or he has to try to go for the short pass. He's got so many responsibilities, it's ridiculous. And so does Trey. You know, the strong safety, that position is so open-ended. But meanwhile, you've got Bruce Irvin, our number one pick, having to blitz and try to get to the quarterback and failing. You got Luke pushing the line, getting through, and then not being able to finish. So therefore, you've got a ton of time for this quarterback to throw this ball. Hit deep balls, hit medium passes, hit short passes, everything under the sun. This is why the 3-4 does not work with the personnel we have. We could not push the line. We could not defend passes. We could not stop the run. We couldn't stop anything. Now, with the level of talent we have, what we were able to do is the best we were able to do. And it comes down to management drafting the correct people. And here's the thing. Ron was the only one that understood how the 3-4 properly worked. Not Luke. Not any of these other players. Not Reed, who'd been in the league forever. Nope. Not Shaq. Bruce Irvin probably was the only one that was brought in specifically for the 3-4. So, there you have it. There's the completed board. You know? And the X's through the names of Luke, Shaq, and Eric Reed there represent the leaders on the defense that did not fully understand the 3-4. Only Ron Rivera and Bruce Irvin did. That's not going to lead to success. Now you got Bradbury, who is a star shutdown corner. That's the only thing that really saved us in a good chunk of those pass plays. That's it. Because Shaq can't guard the brights out of a barn in 3-4. He can't. Bruce Irvin is usually in a lot of the blitz packages. Luke is in about half the blitz packages, which is normal. But he's got so many responsibilities, more than he should have. You know, and he's getting slower. Poe isn't doing anything. He's not pushing the line. You know, Mario's not pushing the line. He's not getting the pressure he needs. So that allows these guys to run free. And sometimes you get two tight end sets. Sometimes even rarely three tight end sets. But typically two tight end sets we've been doing with this year. And those have been on screens to the outside. You know, these wide receivers are blocking properly. Everybody in the league knows how to run these properly and block properly, except for us. And you know what that comes back from? Coaching. We were not teaching these guys how to block properly. It starts with Ron. It starts with our wide receiver coach. It starts with our offensive line coach. It starts with coaching. I've been saying it all year, folks. We change out the coaching staff, everything changes. Now, here is what is coming in. And this is the subject of this video. I've heard rumors of a couple of different defensive coordinators being looked at right now. But right now, we're just focusing on the LSU offensive coordinator for the offensive coordinator job as of right now. But we're trying to fill in those defensive coordinator spots. I think we actually did hire a defensive coordinator. That I do not remember the name of offhand. But, you know, we are changing out staff. We're moving around. We're changing out staff. We're moving the pieces. And we haven't started really moving the pieces until we get our staff in check, in an order. And Matt Rule knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants. He knows what we're going to do moving forward. And that gives me an extra boost of confidence. Now, we do lose Luke coming into 2020. That's a massive, massive minus to our defense. That's going to really, really bring us to the point where we've got to have linebacker help in this draft. Shaq's going to take over as the leader. I have zero problem with that. His running is his speed and his tackling are great. You know, we've been able to get some sacks. We've been able to get some pass rushes. We've been able to get some run stops to the outside. But as far as inside running, with the 3-4, not a chance. As far as passing, he's been Jekyll and Hyde. So, he's got his pluses, he's got his weaknesses, and it's going to be impossible to fill the shoes of Luke Kuechly. Impossible. And I don't want to be the person to say this, but we're going to have a rough 2020. This is a rebuilding year. This is a fix-it year. So we're going to use that 7th round pick, and we're going to get some good players. Possibly a couple of them from LSU, possibly from Ohio State. We've had a lot of success in Oklahoma as well. So expect a couple of them to show up on our draft board. As far as teams that I know of offhand, and Bama as well. We're going to see some from Bama show up on that board as well. But teams that I would like to see us look at are Clemson, Appalachian State, who's been quickly climbing the ladder. No one's even looking at Appalachian State for players. And every once in a while, they'll have a really, really talented player that could possibly have a rising draft stock in the 5th and 6th rounds. So keep an eye open for that. I'm pretty sure anybody that's ended up in the draft from them has probably been picked up by a decent team. So watch for that. I would venture to say that's it for this video. So please like, sub, and hit that bell so you don't miss any new content. Let me know what you thought of my whiteboard and how I explain things to you. And leave a comment if you feel so inclined to do so. If you don't, that's fine too. But show your support for the channel. Make sure you hit that bell. YouTube is funny about notifications. They are really funny about it. So that's the only way you can guarantee a very, very good chance that you're going to see my notifications when my videos pop up. Alright, so thank you guys so much. And keep pounding.